Have you ever felt deeply disconnected from others, even when surrounded by friends, family, or co-workers? Do friendships feel one-sided, or do relationships fall apart for reasons you can't quite understand? If so, it's not just in your head, it's a sign of something deeper. This sense of isolation is part of your journey as a chosen one. It's not a punishment or a curse. It's a necessary phase of growth and transformation. In this video, we're diving deep into 7 profound reasons why chosen ones often walk alone, and how this solitude is preparing you for something extraordinary. Stay with me until the end of this video, because these insights could change how you view yourself and your path. You might even find yourself wanting to watch this video multiple times to let its truths fully resonate. And don't forget to share your experiences in the comments below. Your story might be exactly what someone else needs to hear today. Part 1. Your light reveals the truth. As a chosen one, you carry a radiant energy, a light that isn't something you consciously project, but rather something that naturally emanates from your true essence. This light, in its purest form, is the reflection of your authenticity, your deep connection to your higher purpose. It's not something you try to do or even realize fully, but it has a profound impact on the world around you. When you are your authentic self, you shine in a way that others can't help but notice. This light isn't just about shining brightly. It also serves to reveal the truth. Think about it like this: your presence acts as a mirror, reflecting not only the beauty around you, but also the hidden truths within the people you interact with. For some, this is a gift, an invitation to grow, heal, and step into their own authenticity. For others, can be a challenge, one they may not be ready to face. Have you ever walked into a room where everything seemed calm, even pleasant, but when you entered, the atmosphere suddenly shifted? People grew uncomfortable or started acting differently, even if you hadn't said a word. This happens because your energy brings hidden truths to the surface. Those who are not ready to confront their own shadows may feel threatened, exposed, or defensive. To illustrate, imagine being in a dimly lit room where everything feels safe and cozy in the shadows. Then, suddenly, you light a candle. Instantly, every crack in the walls, every dust particle on the floor, and every little imperfection becomes visible. This is what your light does. It doesn't try to expose, it simply illuminates. And when the light is on, people can no longer hide from what's inside. I once had a close friend who seemed to grow distant after I made a significant spiritual breakthrough. When we used to talk, we would share everything, from mundane daily happenings to our deepest dreams and fears. But after this shift, our conversations felt more strained. It wasn't that I had changed, but rather, my energy had grown more aligned with my purpose. And this forced my friend to confront his own unresolved emotional baggage. Eventually, he pulled away. I initially thought it was because of something I had done, but over time, I realized that he was simply not yet ready to face the truths that my presence illuminated. This is a common experience for many chosen ones. You'll find that the people who once felt comfortable around you may start to feel distant, and those who are struggling with their own inner demons may avoid you. It's not that you've done anything wrong. It's that your light is causing them to face the parts of themselves they'd rather keep hidden. Now, while it might sting to lose relationships or feel that distance, it's important to understand that this dynamic is a reflection of their personal journey, not a measure of your worth. In fact, this is where your own journey of self-preservation and growth becomes critical. Which brings us to the next point: protecting your energy. Part 2. Energy vampires and protection. As a chosen one, your energy is incredibly powerful. It's like a bright light in the darkness, drawing people toward you. However, not everyone who is drawn to your light comes with good intentions. Many are unconsciously attracted to the positive energy you radiate, not because they want to share in it or honor it, but because they hope to feed off it. These individuals are often referred to as energy vampires, and they may not even realize they're draining your life force. Think of a person who constantly seeks your company, always unloading their emotional baggage, asking for advice, or venting about their problems. While it's perfectly natural to be there for others, there are some people who continuously take from you, leaving you feeling emotionally drained and depleted. You may even find that, after spending time with them, you're left with a sense of fatigue, irritability, or even a subtle resentment. This happens because they are drawing on your energy without reciprocating or nourishing you in return. The issue here isn't that these people are bad. It's that they aren't consciously aware of their energetic needs. They're often struggling with their own issues, and your energy feels like a temporary fix. But over time, this constant imbalance can leave you feeling hollow, exhausted, or even spiritually drained. You may start to wonder why you feel so depleted despite your best intentions to help others. That's when solitude becomes not just a choice, but a necessity. It's a form of self-preservation, an essential tool to recharge and protect your energy. A spiritual guide I once knew had a deeply nurturing spirit. She would always put others first: family, friends, even strangers. She became a pillar for everyone, offering her listening ear and advice without hesitation. But eventually, she began to notice signs of fatigue creeping in. First, it was subtle, a little tiredness here and there, but over time it grew overwhelming. She felt emotionally empty, like she was giving and giving but receiving nothing in return. It was a moment of clarity when she realized she had been pouring from an empty cup. In her own words, setting boundaries felt selfish at first. But then I understood it's not about keeping people out. It's about protecting the energy that allows me to give authentically. I needed to prioritize my own well-being, to learn to say no, and to focus on relationships that were balanced and reciprocal. This realization was transformational. By putting up those boundaries, she restored her own vitality, and her ability to help others became more sustainable and fulfilling. What she learned, and what many chosen ones come to realize, is that protecting your energy isn't selfish. It's absolutely necessary. By establishing boundaries, you're not closing yourself off from the world. You're simply creating a space where true, balanced relationships can thrive. And while this may initially lead to a smaller circle of connections, it's actually a purification process, one that clears the path for more aligned, nourishing relationships. As you begin to set boundaries and protect your energy, it's natural to notice that your circle shrinks. This narrowing of relationships may feel isolating at first, but it's an essential part of the growth process. It's through this solitude that you begin to build strength, clarity, and a deeper sense of self, preparing you for the next phase of your journey. Which leads us to the next point: depth intimidates others. Part 3. Depth intimidates others. As a chosen one, you are uniquely wired for depth. You don't just skim the surface of life. You dive into its mysteries, seeking meaning, truth, and connection on a soul level. While many people are content with shallow, surface-level interactions, you crave something far more substantial: conversations that challenge, inspire, and promote real growth. Your soul yearns for relationships that feel authentic, not just polite exchanges or pleasantries. But here's the challenge: not everyone is ready for the kind of depth you bring. Surface-level connections are comfortable for many people because they avoid vulnerability, confrontation with their own insecurities, and the discomfort of introspection. For them, your presence can feel like a mirror, reflecting parts of themselves they aren't ready to face. Imagine sharing a deeply personal experience or a profound insight with someone you care about, expecting to feel heard and understood. Instead, you are met with a silence that feels too heavy, or perhaps they quickly change the subject. Unable or unwilling to engage on that level, you might feel rejected, or like you've shared too much. But the reality is, it's not that you're too much or too intense. It's that your depth exposes what others haven't yet confronted within themselves. One of the hardest parts about being a chosen one is realizing that not everyone is ready for the level of intimacy and authenticity you offer. For many, it's simply too much to process. I remember once speaking with a friend about my spiritual awakening, how I was beginning to understand deeper truths about life and my purpose. I shared these experiences with excitement, hoping to engage in a heartfelt conversation. Instead, my friend seemed overwhelmed and almost uncomfortable. The conversation shifted quickly, and I was left wondering why my openness had triggered such a shift. Over time, I realized that the discomfort wasn't about me or my journey. It was about their inability to connect with something so deep and unknown to them. They were still living in a world of distractions, avoiding any inner confrontation, and my depth had inadvertently highlighted that. And that's when I learned something profound. Your depth is a gift, but it's not for everyone. Instead of trying to dumb down your conversations or tone yourself down to fit in, I began to embrace this truth. Those who are ready for the depth you offer will naturally find their way to you. Think about it, just as a diamond is rare and valuable, so too are the people who are willing to dive deep into the layers of the soul. They are the ones who will cherish your presence, not feel overwhelmed by it. So, rather than interpreting someone's inability to connect as rejection, see it as alignment. Your depth acts as a natural filter, one that separates the superficial from the truly meaningful relationships. This process might feel isolating at times, but it's crucial for your growth. The right people, those who resonate with your soul, will find you. The connections that matter will always rise to the surface. This filtering process may lead to more time spent in solitude, but this is not a bad thing. It's during these quieter moments that you will begin to do the most important work of all: inner healing and transformation. The deeper you go into yourself, the more aligned you become with your true purpose. So, let's move on to the next point and explore how this solitude becomes the fertile ground for healing, growth, and spiritual evolution. Part 4. Healing requires solitude. The journey of a chosen one is not just about discovering your purpose. It's also about healing. Healing from emotional wounds, old traumas, and unresolved experiences is crucial in preparing you to fulfill the calling you were meant for. But this process is not something that can be rushed or done in the presence of constant distractions. Healing is deeply personal, and it requires space to look inward and confront the parts of yourself that need mending. Imagine a caterpillar inside its cocoon. On the outside, it may seem trapped, stuck in a dark, confining space. From the outside, it might appear as though there's no progress, no movement, but inside the cocoon, something miraculous is happening. A complete transformation. The caterpillar is being remade, its cells restructuring and realigning to become a butterfly. This process of change requires isolation, stillness, and a quiet time to emerge in a new form. Just like the caterpillar's transformation, your journey of healing requires solitude. It's not punishment, it's preparation. In those quiet moments, when you feel most alone, the universe is working on you, remaking you into a stronger, more aligned version of yourself. These moments are sacred because they are when you make room for the new and shed what no longer serves you. I once went through a period in my life where everything felt like it was falling apart. I found myself pulling away from social circles, retreating into solitude. I had no idea why I felt so drawn to be alone, but as I spent more time in that space, I began to confront parts of myself I had long buried, old wounds from my past, fears, and unresolved pain. In the solitude, I found the courage to face those difficult emotions head-on. It wasn't easy, and there were days when I felt utterly alone and lost. But I realized that this solitude was not a setback. It was a vital part of my healing. Healing is not a linear process. It's messy, uncomfortable, and sometimes feels like it's never ending. It involves looking at painful memories, confronting fears, and releasing parts of yourself that are no longer serving your growth. This is why solitude is essential. It provides the space you need to look inward, reflect, and process without the influence of the outside world. External distractions, opinions, and judgments only hinder your ability to truly heal. Take the story of a spiritual teacher I once met who described her own healing journey. She spoke of how, after years of being a caregiver and supporting others, she realized that she had never taken the time to tend to her own wounds. She spent months in solitude, engaging in deep self-reflection and inner work. Initially, it was painful. Her mind and heart were full of unresolved pain. But as she allowed herself the time and space to process, she experienced deep healing. By the time she emerged from her cocoon of solitude, she was not only more connected to her own spirit, but was able to give in a way that was more balanced and empowered. While solitude can initially feel lonely, it is also an incredibly empowering space. It gives you the time, clarity, and emotional space to rediscover who you truly are, to strengthen your emotional resilience and reconnect with your higher purpose. You begin to align with your true essence, shedding the emotional burdens you've been carrying for too long. This is when the magic happens, when you start to radiate a new energy, one that is lighter, more vibrant, and more attuned to your purpose. And here's the real beauty of it. This process of healing is not just about you. While you may feel like you're going through this alone, the universe is aligning circumstances, shaping your future, and preparing the people who will eventually walk this journey with you. Your solitude is creating space for the right opportunities, relationships, and experiences that will help you step fully into your purpose. But why is this preparation so critical for chosen ones? Let's explore the next step to understand how your solitude is paving the way for something extraordinary. Part 5. The universe is preparing you. Your solitude is not an accident or something to be endured. It is a vital and carefully orchestrated part of your journey. When you find yourself walking alone, it's because the universe is clearing away distractions, misaligned relationships, and situations that no longer serve your highest good. This preparation is essential for the path ahead, one that will lead to something far more profound than you could have imagined. Think of your life as a masterpiece in progress. Before an artist begins painting, they don't simply pick up a brush and start creating. First, they prepare the canvas. They clean it, smooth out imperfections, and ensure it's ready to hold the vision they are about to bring into existence. This preparatory phase is a quiet, behind-the-scenes process, but it's necessary to bring the artist's vision into reality. Your solitude functions in much the same way. It's the canvas clearing process, a time for you to shed what no longer serves your higher purpose. During this time, you may feel a sense of isolation or even loss as relationships fade, situations change, or opportunities that once seemed promising fall away. Can be painful, especially when it feels like everything is being stripped away. But trust that this clearing is the universe's way of creating space for something much greater to enter your life, whether it's deeper connections, new opportunities, or spiritual revelations that will guide you towards your true purpose. A close friend of mine went through a period where every aspect of her life seemed to be shifting. Her long-term friendships started to dissolve. Her job no longer fulfilled her, and even her living situation changed unexpectedly. First, she thought she had done something wrong, wondering why everything was falling apart. But as time passed, she began to realize that what was actually happening was a divine clearing. She let go of relationships that were holding her back and made space for a new career that aligned with her passions and a deeper understanding of herself. That period of solitude, although challenging, became the fertile ground for her growth. Imagine you want to plant a beautiful, thriving garden. The soil may seem full of potential, but before the seeds can grow, the weeds must be cleared away, the soil must be tilled, the unwanted plants uprooted, and the ground made ready for new life. This is exactly what the universe is doing when you experience solitude. It's tilting the soil of your life, removing the weeds of old beliefs, unhelpful patterns, and toxic relationships, so that you can cultivate new experiences and opportunities that align with your purpose. It might feel like loss at times, but it's not about what you're losing, it's about what you're making room for. Think about the experience of a tree growing in a forest. When a tree begins to mature, it often has to face strong winds, heavy rains, and seasons of drought. Each of these challenges strengthens the tree's roots, helping it grow taller, more resilient, and more deeply connected to the earth. During these trials, the tree might seem isolated or fragile, but they are the very forces that prepare it for the future. Similarly, your solitude is preparing you to face life's challenges with a strengthened spirit and a deeper connection to your purpose. But the preparation process isn't always gentle or comfortable. In fact, sometimes it's downright difficult. It often involves confronting old patterns, beliefs, and fears that have held you back from fully stepping into your power. This purging of old habits or thoughts can feel like a breakdown phase, but it's essential for growth. You are being asked to release what no longer serves you to make room for a more aligned version of yourself. As you navigate this period of solitude and preparation, you may feel that the universe is asking you to face some of your deepest fears and confront what's holding you back. But this is exactly where your next chapter begins. The challenges you face now are breaking down the barriers that have kept you from fully embracing your purpose. Let's explore how these walls and limitations are a part of the transformation that is shaping you into the person you are meant to become. Part 6. Past pain creates barriers. Chosen ones often walk alone not because they want to but because past pain has led them to build protective walls around their hearts. These emotional barriers are a natural response to experiences of betrayal, rejection, or loss. While they serve to keep you safe, they can also make it difficult to allow new relationships or opportunities to enter. There's a poignant quote by an unknown poet that goes, "I built walls not to keep others out, but to see who cared enough to climb over them." These walls aren't permanent. They're temporary shields while you heal and learn to trust again. They protect you during vulnerable times, but they also serve as a test, ensuring that only those with pure intentions can reach you. Emotional scars heal in layers. Each layer requires time, introspection, and often solitude. This process isn't about shutting the world out forever. It's about creating a space where you can nurture yourself, rediscover your worth, and open your heart again when you're ready. As you heal, those barriers begin to dissolve. You'll find yourself naturally drawing closer to people who genuinely understand and support you. This isn't an accident. It's the universe aligning you with your soul tribe, those who resonate with your energy and purpose. But solitude during this period of healing isn't just about emotional recovery. It's also about redirecting your energy towards something even more profound, finding your focus and living in alignment with your true calling. Let's explore how this solitude helps you hone your mission. Part 7. A greater purpose requires focus. As a chosen one, you are called to fulfill a higher purpose, a mission that aligns with your unique gifts and spiritual journey. But to fully realize this calling, you need focus, clarity, and undistracted energy. Solitude becomes the universe's way of granting you the time and space to cultivate these qualities. Consider figures like the Buddha, who spent years in deep isolation before achieving enlightenment. His time alone wasn't about abandoning the world. It was about understanding it on a profound level. That solitude wasn't an escape, it was preparation. Similarly, your time alone is a sacred process, fine-tuning you for the work you are destined to do. In solitude, distractions fall away, and you can hear the quiet whispers of your soul. It's where ideas are born, where visions take shape, and where you find the clarity to understand your path. It's not about what you're losing, it's about what you're gaining, an unshakable sense of purpose. This period of solitude is not a life sentence. It's a transformative phase that's shaping you into someone capable of making a profound impact on the world. And as you step into your purpose, you'll find yourself naturally reconnecting with others who share your vision and support your mission. Your solitude is not a sign of weakness or failure. It's the universe's way of preparing you for greatness. Embrace it, trust it, and know that everything you're going through is leading you to something extraordinary. As we wrap up this video, it's important to remember that walking alone as a chosen one may feel isolating at times, but it's also one of the most transformative and powerful phases of your life. Solitude isn't a punishment, it's a gift, a sacred space for growth and self-discovery. 1. Your light is powerful. You are a beacon of truth, and your light is far more potent than you may realize. While it can be uncomfortable for some, it's not your fault. The truth you carry forces others to confront their own shadows. and not everyone is ready for that. But this doesn't mean you're doing anything wrong. Instead, it means you are fulfilling your purpose, revealing truths that help guide others to their own healing. 2. Protect your energy. Your energy is sacred, and learning how to protect it is essential. Boundaries are not only important, they are necessary for your well-being. When you protect your energy, you allow yourself to give authentically and receive in ways that nourish your soul. Don't be afraid to say no or step back when needed. It's not selfish, it's self-preservation. 3. Trust the process. Above all, trust the process. Your solitude is not the end, it's a preparation. It's the universe's way of shaping you, strengthening you, and aligning you with your higher purpose. What may seem like isolation now will eventually lead you to a life filled with purpose, connection, and fulfillment as you continue walking your path. Remember, you are never truly alone. Though it may feel solitary at times, there are many chosen ones walking similar journeys, facing similar challenges, and experiencing similar growth. If this video resonated with you, I invite you to share your thoughts and experiences in the comments. By sharing, we create a supportive community where we can lift each other up and provide the understanding we all need. If you found value in this video, take a moment to like, share, and subscribe. Together, we can build a community of light bearers, people who uplift and inspire one another. Remember, your path may be solitary for now, but it's leading you to a life that is rich with purpose, fulfillment, and deep connection. Embrace your journey, trust your process, and always remember that your light is guiding you to something far greater than you can imagine.